I guess you don't want to order a video. Anybody here want to order a video? Okay. Nick, you want to order a video?
We're so glad that you came this evening to be here for the 8th graders graduation. The first thing that we have on the program tonight is one of our students, one of our organ students, is going to play a piece for you on the organ. He's way up in the dining hall. Since you don't move Big Bertha, she stays put. And part of the unit is brought out on the porch so that you can hear it. So we'll enjoy this piece. It is Eric Chacon is going to be doing this. Alex Chacon, excuse me, if the boys mixed up. And we'll, after his piece, then there'll be the word of welcome and we'll begin the graduation ceremony. Dr. Gans will be playing our procession as our 8th graders come forth. pleasure now to officially welcome you and say congratulations ahead of time to our 8th graders. We ask now at this time that you give your attention to Murray Ricks, the chairman of our Board of Trustees, who will lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. If you'll then, we usually sing, and I guess we're to do that first, so I'm sorry, I reversed the order on that. So if you'll stand and we'll sing America the Beautiful, and then we'll welcome Mr. Ricks.
If you'll all remain standing, I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hello, my name is Serena Pratt, and I'm the 5th grade teacher here at Selwyn. This is my first year as a Selwyn teacher, although I've been a parent for quite a while. And I cannot express to you what a pleasure it has been to teach this group of students this year. So, Shomat Das. Christine Eleanor Roberts. Erin Elizabeth Elliott. Stephanie Angela Holt. Julie Cho. Timothy DeRusse.
Right here, Timothy.
McKenna Lee Lowerwall. Taylor Victoria Matthews. We know her too. Rachel May Kress. Richard Kenneth Hunter Payne. Zachary Cole Scott. Grant Frederick Skinner. I'd like to introduce you to the new 6th grade class of Selwyn.
be very focused.
Yeah.
Tis a gift to be simple, tis a gift to be free, tis a gift to come down where we ought to be. And when we find ourselves in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn, will be our delight. Till by turning we'll come round right. Tis a gift to be When we find ourselves in the place just right, we'll be in the valley of love and delight. When true simplicity is gained, to bow and to bend we shan't be ashamed. To turn, will be our delight. Till by turning we'll come round right.
This right here is the time capsule, and it's one of the 8th grade traditions where the 8th grade class puts some items that they like in here that they can remember, and people put stuff like pictures in there, and it's just one of the many things that makes this school great.
It's tradition for the 8th grade to write in the memory book, and this is the memory book, and they pass it on to the 7th grade, and we've chosen Katie and Rebby to represent the 7th grade, so come and get your book. Get your book. Okay, yeah, they're not taking any pictures. Now the 8th grade will share some of their memories during the year. Sorry. It's going to be hard to put my first and last year at Selwyn into words, but I'll try. 1 year isn't enough to really know what Selwyn is like, but it's long enough to make many new friends and have 4 great middle school teachers and Miss Marcus. I wish I could have been here longer to meet some of the people, students and teachers alike, I've heard stories about. I'm used to bigger public schools, so Selwyn was a big change for me, but I really like how everyone is close, almost like a family. The biggest problem was that the school board thought uniforms would be a good idea, but I don't think any of the students or teachers liked them at all. This year also brought a lot of firsts. It was my first time being enrolled in a private school, my first time wearing uniforms, and my first time on Perspectives. Perspectives was really fun. My favorite part was that my friends and I heard strange conversations going on in the neighboring campsite. In the morning, we couldn't stop laughing when we compared stories about what we heard. Besides Perspectives, I've made many good friends and met many unique people. Jen. Outgoing, loud, energetic, a little, okay, a lot eccentric. These are all words that I would use to describe you. Always be yourself, not that you'd ever have that kind of problem, and keep singing. Have fun at Argyle. Catherine, I wish I could be more like you because you always know the right thing to say. Also because no one can stay mad at you for very long. I mean, look at you and Chelsea. A week after Perspectives, you two are best friends again. Oh, and you in general do seem like sisters. Maybe even twins. Chelsea, I know we weren't too close at the beginning of the year, but as it wore on, and after we cleared up the misunderstanding, I got to know you a little better. You're a really fun and unique girl, and I hope to see you again. I wish you were going to Ryan. Brooke, I've always wondered how you got so smart, and why are you so quiet? Of course this is coming from me, the most talkative person in the class. When you have something to say, just say it, because you know you're always right. Keep writing and you'll someday become a famous writer. See you at Ryan. Elizabeth, when I think of the word sweet, I think of you, because that's what you are. You're very artistic and imaginative. Keep drawing and writing. Don't let anyone tell you how to act, and remember that no matter what anybody says, be yourself. Stay sweet. Caitlin, you're truly unique and creative. I would never be able to come up with my own language or write stories as captivating as yours. You are a wonderful artist and a great friend. Good luck in 8th grade. Jessica, you're my best friend and I hate to leave you here. We've had a lot of fun times. Remember when we were bounding around the school singing the Misfits song at Christmas? I still say I'm a 6th grader stuck in an 8th grader's body. Always keep this in mind. We all have to leave sometime. Bye, have fun in 7th grade. Now my last bit of advice to anyone who wants it. Time is a strange thing. Sometimes it can seem like it takes forever for a moment to pass. Then after the moment is gone, you look back and think, I wish I could be there again and live that moment just one more time. Like now, all the 8th graders are probably thinking, I can't wait to get out of here and have summer vacation. Then before you know it, summer vacation is over. Then high school is over, followed by college. Then one day, when you've grown up, you're going to sit down and think, I wish I could be there again. I wish I could be going to kindergarten for the first time or reciting my 8th grade graduation speech again. So don't take any moment for granted because you never know when it'll be gone and you'll never have it again.
Hi, I'm Sid. When I first came to Selwyn, the first thing I wondered was whether I would fit in or not. Because everybody was nicely dressed, and I was wearing a t-shirt and black jeans. But then I discovered I did fit in. And even though sometimes I missed the dress code at public school, I still think my last 3 years at Selwyn have been the best of my life. Brady, you may be the smallest 8th grader, but you have the biggest heart. Judd, thanks for making me laugh all the times with your great jokes. Austin, you were one of my best friends here at Selwyn, and I hope to see you again in the future. Naveed, you were one of my first friends here at Selwyn, and you always respected and understood my food-eating capability. Dustin, you and I were always good friends, and I always ended up giving you food after break. Parker, I always enjoyed your funny comics, such as Bob, the story of a newt who got eaten by a suit, and your impersonations of Mr. Gentile. Mr. Hanstein, thanks for all your stories about cigarettes blowing up entire factories, aquatic gerbils pecking Texans, and solar power. I thought that they were the most amazing stories in the world. Mr. Gentile, thanks for an endless amount of historical facts, lame jokes, and math problems. Your lame jokes are the best, and your teaching style is unique and extremely attention-grabbing. Mr. Vet, thank you for helping me with my math in 6th and 7th grade. Ms. Tolliver, whenever I said got instead of have, you were always there to correct me in my misuse of English. Coach, you were always inspiring me to push my limits, and because of you, I scored my first seasonal basketball shot. Señora Ahern, okay. Gracias para enseñarme español. Estoy triste si
yo estuve tarde para clases. Pero voy a echar de menos usted. Miss Marcus, you were one of the nicest teachers in the world. You would always give me a second chance on late work and never got too angry when a big assignment was especially late. I've only been here for 3 years, but I feel that my time here has not gone to waste.
As I began this speech, I thought about all the great memories that I've made at Selwyn during these past 3 years. My mom always said that I would never have teachers again like the ones I've had at Selwyn. She was right. I know that when I reach public high school, the teachers could care less if I get my homework in on time, or even if I do my homework. But the teachers at Selwyn do care, and that's what I like about them. Mr. Hanstein, you could be anyone when it comes to giving the longest lectures. But don't worry, that's not a bad thing, because the lectures that you give are always right. You always say that if we don't pay attention in class, then we'll be serving you fries. But don't worry, it won't ever be me serving your fries. I might be the one that you're buying your next house from. Who knows? Miss Tolliver, you always listen to what I have to say. Throughout the years, you're the one who understood where I was coming from and helped me through some of the toughest times. In English class, you always knew that I could do better than what I was doing. When you sat me down and told me that I could do better, I realized that once I leave Selwyn, other teachers won't notice that about me. They may hardly even remember my name. Miss Marcus, I don't think I've ever seen you walk into the classroom not in a good mood. Even though the class may have put you in one, that's a different story. Thanks for preparing me for high school. Miss Yvette, you won't let anyone get away with not wearing the dress code no matter how hard they try. But I guess that's a good thing, because then no one can be made fun of for dressing out of style. Coach Sykes, I'm going to miss all your stories about your childhood. For the past 3 years, the basketball team has made it to the championships, but we always seem to fail at bringing the trophy home. But hey, at least we made it that far, and I want to thank you for that. Coach Patrice, at first you and I weren't all that close, but after we both got to know each other, I found out what a cool and fun person you are to be around. Over perspectives, you were the one that understood where I was coming from, and you were the one I could talk to. Coach Jennifer, you're the best volleyball coach that a group of girls could have. The first day I walked in the gym, it seemed like it was 150 degrees, but really it was about 99. I felt like I was about to faint. You assured me that everything was going to be okay and told me to get a drink of water. Then when Jen and I paid you a visit at your other job, we told you that we were kind of nervous about trying out next year for volleyball. You said, don't worry, because everything will be okay. I hope you're right about that. Jen, you and I have had some of the funnest times together. Remember in English class when we had to look up a word in the dictionary, but instead we just made up our own? You and I had made plans when we turned 16, so don't forget about them. You're one of the funnest friends that I have, and I'm going to miss you a lot, but I know that we'll be friends forever. Brooke, I know you hate it when people tell you how smart you are, but intelligence will get you a long way in life. I hope that all of your dreams come true. Hey, you never know where life will take you. Maybe my children will be reading one of your books one day. Alyssa, I know that I haven't known you for all that long, and I know that we weren't all that close, but I hope in the years to come we will become close. Catherine, sorry to let you down when it came to basketball. I know how much you love that sport. I'm not going to say goodbye to you because I'll see you next year at DHS. To all of the 8th grade boys, I know that we weren't all that close, but on the 8th grade camping trip, I got to know things about you all that I didn't know. I think all of you will be successful in life. Rhiannon, you and I have had some really fun times together. You know that if you ever need anything or just want to talk, you can always call me. Don't worry, next year wherever you are, you'll have fun. You and I have gotten a lot closer this year. I just wish we could have gotten to know each other sooner. Katie, you'll probably be taking my spot in volleyball, but don't worry, you'll do great. You always need to keep your head up and never let anyone or anything stand in the way of what you're trying to accomplish. Jojo, carry the basketball team all the way. I know that you can. I'll never forget you and your crazy ways of doing things. I love you. Shobna, last year when you gave your speech, you made it seem like we would never see each other again. But you're wrong, because I'm going to DHS next year and it will be fun. To be truthful, I did miss our dressing alike and having a notebook full of notes from you, but I survived. I was sent to Selwyn because my mom and grandma want me to get the best education that I can, and Selwyn was the right place to send me. I thank them for that. The memories here are unforgettable. When my mom first told me that I'd be going to Selwyn, or a private school, for my middle school, I was mad because I would not be able to be with my friends. But now that I look back on it, I realize it has been a great place. I've made wonderful friends here at Selwyn. I will never have friends as great as you all. Mr. Gentile, You thought I was going to leave you out, didn't you? But I'm not. You've been a great history and math teacher. I'm sorry if I ever got on your nerves saying it's time to go when history and math were over, but don't worry because right now is the last time you'll ever hear me say, it's time to go.
I will never forget the first time I came to Selwyn. As we were driving up the front road to the school, the excitement and anticipation drained from my face. I turned to my mom and said, "Mom, you've got to be kidding me." When I met the headmaster, Mr. LaRue, however, I began to feel more comfortable, and it ended up being a pretty good day. I remember seeing the first kid in my future class, Jen Hills, in the hall. Then I discussed gel pens with Judd Travis in the 5th grade room. That was elementary. When I entered the middle school, I met a new cast of teachers whom I'd like to thank for making my 3 years of Selwyn so much fun. Mrs. DeVette, thank you for teaching me about polynomials. They will help me a lot when I get older. Mrs. Tolliver, you taught me how to act smarter than I am by using big words. I offer my most sincere gratitude for your excellence, and I rue my occasional incompetence at assimilating the subject matter you endeavored to instill in me. Mr. Hanstein, Selwyn is as good as it is because of you. If I ever wanted to know the most thorough answer to any question, I knew where to go. I will never forget your growing up in Hawaii stories. Thank you. Anyone want to hear a joke? Okay, 2 guys are talking and they said, "Me and my wife are going to the Caribbeans." Jamaica? No, she wanted to go. Yeah, pretty lame, huh? Of course, this is one of Mr. Gentile's world-famous jokes. Making fun of his jokes never gets old. There's no word to describe you, Mr. Gentile. Thank you for teaching me about Santa Ana and his leg. Mrs. Marcus, I only had you for 1 year and wish you could have been my teacher for a longer period of time because you're such a good teacher. I'll warn my brother about your test and I'll make sure he studies. Coach, thanks for keeping me in shape and teaching me a few things about not only sports, but life and especially about girls. Mrs. Ahern, yo aprendí mucho en la clase del español. Gracias por la información. I also met a lot of good friends while I was here. Chelsea, if I ever wanted to know what new songs were out or what was in style, I would go to you. You're a great friend and I'll miss you. Naveed, I hope you have fun at your new high school, but you should go to Marcus. I also hope you learned your lesson about letting girls put makeup on you. I'm sure I'll see you around often, Naveed, and I hope one day you realize your dream of marrying J-Lo so you can be one of the many people who have married her. Sid, you amaze me all year with your eating habits. I hope you have fun when you grow up. May you have food in your fridge forever. See you at Marcus. Judd, I'll always remember play fighting with you, your yo mama jokes, and your hilarious book reports. Parker, you had the coolest parties. I hope you have fun in high school. Alex, I'm glad we are on the same basketball team, and I hope you help the team to get another championship next year. See you at home. Brooke, David, you're too smart. Even though I envied your grades all year, I'm glad we were friends. Catherine, you are always very fun. You are probably the only girl whom I've never been mad at. I'll miss you. Jen, we have been friends since we met 3 years ago. I knew from the moment I first saw you that I was going to like you a lot. Your smile always lights up the room. I'm going to miss you in high school, but I'm sure we'll see each other. I hope you have fun at Argyle. George, you are the funniest person ever. I will never forget your crazy stories or your made-up words. I hope you have a great 8th grade year. Ethan, I hope you can lead Selwyn to their 3rd basketball championship in a row. I'm sure I'll see you around. Be nice to the girls. Rhiannon, I never really talked to you before this year, which I regret, but thank you for being a good friend this year. I hope you have fun wherever you go next. I'll miss you a lot. Last but not least, JoJo. I just have to say that I'm sorry for driving you crazy this last year. You have been such a great friend to me. I wish I could have repaid you more than I did. I know we will keep in touch and see each other every once in a while. I wish you the best and I'll miss you a lot. Looking back on my middle school years, I wish I had been able to attend Selwyn longer. I wish for the best for the school and I leave it smarter and more complete than I was before. Goodbye. Now it's Catherine.
next year. Brooke, you are a very fun person to hang out with, and I also had fun playing sports with you. Allie, you came at the beginning of this year, and I don't think you said anything but yeah and no for the first 2 weeks you were here. But after a while, you warmed up and started saying some other words. You are a really fun and neat person, and I'll miss you next year. Dustin, I had a lot of fun with you these last 3 years. Good luck at Marcus. I will miss you. Naveed, you are really funny, and I will miss your unique sense of humor. To Jojo, Sammy, Rhiannon, Shomia, Ollie, Katie, and Sarah, you are a great group of girls, and I will miss you all so much next year. You all need to work hard and lead the team to bring home a basketball banner. Blake, I had a lot of fun with you this year. You are so funny. I will miss you next year. Now for the teachers. Miss DeVette, you taught me for 2.5 years of middle school, and one lesson that I'll always remember is look in the book. I really liked having you as a teacher. Thank you for all that you have taught me. Mr. Gentile, I know every year everyone says something rude about your so-called jokes, but I think that you have the best jokes in the whole wide world. You taught me a lot of information that I still don't think is needed, and I thank you for that. Miss Tolliver, you are a wonderful teacher, and I was very lucky to have you. I will miss you a lot next year. Mr. Hanstein, thank you for teaching me everything that I need to know when I get into the real world. I'm sure someday I will use all of that information. Miss Marcus, you came into class with a smile every day and usually left with one too. You are a very good teacher and always encourage us to do better and keep our heads up. Coach Sykes, in 6th grade I joined the basketball team. Those Colgates were the worst. I didn't think I could do it, but you helped me keep my head up. I didn't understand why you were making us do those horrible things, but I did them anyways. In 7th grade, it seemed like they just got worse. You would tell us stories about how you hiked some odd amount of miles in the snow to school, and that would make me feel a lot better. Now that I'm in 8th grade, I wouldn't trade those 3 seasons of Colgates for anything. I now realize that if it weren't for those hard practices, then I would not have found what I love to do, and that is play basketball. All of these kids at this school, including me, look up to you. You are a very good person. Coach Patrice, I really liked having you as a coach. You made our practices fun, but still made us work. You and Coach Sykes brought us all the way to the championships, and I thank you for that. Coach Jennifer, I remember my first day of 6th grade. I thought I was going to play volleyball until I went to practice. I thought you were crazy, telling us to run around the school 2 times and bruise our wrists just for the fun of it. I just couldn't do it. Well, in 8th grade, I came back, and I was ready to run around the school and even bruise my wrists for the fun of it. You made volleyball a fun sport for me, and I am glad that I had the opportunity to play. Dr. Level, I would like to thank you for teaching me all that I know about the guitar. I had a lot of fun in your class. Last but not least, I would like to thank my parents and family for supporting me through my years at Selwyn. If it weren't for you, then I don't think I could have made it. You helped me with you paid my tuition and were always there when I needed help on homework. Next is Jen Hills. Selwyn, this school will stay in my heart forever. Even though I'm leaving this year, I will never forget the friends and the memories that I've made. I remember the first day I came here. I thought the school was really weird because everything was made of wood. But I knew the school was different in more than one way. In most schools, you never get as close to the teachers as I had become. Mr. Hanstein, always talking about life in the real world. Don't worry, Mr. Hanstein, I'll never serve you fries. I always knew that once I said hello to you, we could spend another hour talking. Mr. Gentile, every year when your name comes up in a speech, somebody has to say something about your corny jokes. But I have to admit, they're right. You're a unique teacher, and you have a way of making kids remember what you taught. Miss DeVette, the one who always keeps us in line. The dress code shall never be broken. Thank you for always being there. You're a great teacher. Miss Tolliver, every year somebody says something about how you're more than just a teacher, that you're a friend. You were always there to help me, and I know you will be if I ever need you. Miss Marcus, you gave us a lot of homework, but then before I knew it, you were telling us the answer in class. I know the only reason you did that was to make sure we were listening. You were always smiling and giving people hugs. Muchas gracias. Coach, in 7th grade during the week of volleyball championships, I was sick. I was home alone and you came from work to ask how I was doing. Not only did you teach me how to play sports, you also taught me how to be a better person. You're always saying that when a student messes up, everyone complains to you. I'm glad they complain to you because you're the only one who can help me when I'm down. I'm really going to miss all your motivational stories and stories about your childhood. Thanks for being here for me. I'll never forget you. Coach Jennifer, I don't know what it is about you, but you've always been one of my favorite people. You're a great coach, and you'll have an excellent team next year. I'm the youngest in my family and the last Tilts to attend Selwyn. My oldest sister, Rachel, is leaving next summer for college, and it won't be the same without her. She helps me with my homework and takes me places. This is the spontaneous one in our family. She always helps me get through the crazy middle school life. Besides my family, my friends are always the ones who help make life easier. Chelsea, you can make me laugh when I wanted to cry. Cheer me up and help make me a better person. I love being in your class these past 3 years. Brooke, everyone is going to say, oh, the smart one. But you're so much more than that. You've been in my class ever since 3rd grade, and I know that you can be a good friend. Kit Kat, we were always so silly, making up nonsense about flying purpley donkeys and giving people quizzes. Together we're almost like a child with one big imagination, and that's what I love about we were always good at making Miss Yvette mad or be too loud. I think the main reason we're so close is because we're almost exactly alike. You, Rhiannon, and I were always had so much fun together. Remember when we were looking for my graduation dress and we got pictures taken with the bunny in the kids section? I'll always remember you too, Rhiannon. Sammy, my best friend throughout our elementary years. We shared a birthday party in 5th grade, went on vacations together, made a band together, and you've been to every one of my birthday parties. These last couple of years we grew apart. You've always been one of my best friends, and nothing will change that. I've waited for this day since the 4th grade. I even planned what I was going to say about everyone. But now that this time has come, I have too much to say. I love going to every graduation and watching all the girls in their beautiful white dresses cry about their leaving this school. And now it's my turn to stand up here, and it doesn't feel as good as I thought. I know next year in high school it will be different, but maybe it's time to move on. I need to go to another school and experience new things. Alumni tell me that if they had the chance to stay, then they would have. But that is them, and this is me, and I'm ready for next year because of these past 6 years here. I know that I can always look back at Selwyn and remember what I've achieved here.
I remember my first day at Selwyn. I was practically being dragged inside by my mom. As we entered my 2nd grade class, which was taught by Mrs. Winnett, I pleaded with my mom, I don't want to go. Don't make me go. Hiding behind my mom, I took a peek around her waist and saw Ryan and Brady out of the corner of my eye. I ran over to them and said hi, remembering a summer camp before when we were the Trouble Trio. Although I didn't know then, they were going to be my best friends for many years to come. Mrs. Winnett was a great teacher in my 2nd and 3rd grade Montessori class. She was very nice and she listened to whatever we had to say, regardless how pointless or stupid it was. I've never known an individual as caring and loving towards people she barely knew. My assistant teacher in that class, Patty Schaefer, passed away on November 17, 2000 from cancer. She was 52. It was a sad time for me because she was the teacher who helped me with all of my work in the 2nd and 3rd grade. She is still greatly missed at the school. My next teacher was Mrs. Harris in the 4th and 5th grade. I can't even imagine how ignorant and stupid I'd be without her help. She loved math like I did, and I enjoyed it when she helped me with all of my math problems. She always managed to keep a smile on her face, and no matter how loud or stupid I was acting, she never raised her voice. And then I took that big jump into middle school. I've grown so much during the past 3 years. I've learned most of my morals and values from the teachers here. They listen to whatever the students have to say. I'd like to thank Ms. Tolliver for bringing joy to my heart and happiness to my soul. She's the greatest English teacher I've ever met in my life. She knows everything in the world of English. Sometimes I thought she was a genius. She happily corrects my grammar all the time with a smile on her face. But most of all, Mrs. Tolliver is young like us and can relate to our troubles. She gives the same amount of respect to everyone, no matter how annoying or pointless the remarks are. That's why she's a person I have a great deal of respect for. Next is Mr. Gentile. His life story from my point of view is incredible. Rumor has it that he got sent to jail where he was a Golden Glove boxer in Cell D and a champion pool player. After escaping from jail, he joined a traveling circus. Then he enrolled in the Army as a Navy SEAL. Then he quit the SEALs so he could get his high school diploma. Then he decided to come here to Selwyn. What a great story for a biography. Unfortunately, none of this is true. Regardless of his life story, he's been a great person in the time I've known him. I'm going to miss all of his jokes in his class, even if they were the worst ever. Ms. DeVette, you were cool because you heard out our problems and did something about them. I remember our class explaining to you that eating ice in class didn't distract us. And I was so happy and shocked that you gave us a chance with the ice. Thanks for hearing us out and being a fun teacher to talk to. Mr. Einstein, you were a great science teacher who knew just about every answer to every science question there was to ask. But the best part was all those stories you told us about when you lived in Hawaii. You let us be more independent in your class. Thanks for the freedom and stories. Ms. Marcus, the work wasn't easy like you said, but it wasn't as hard as our complaining made it sound. I know the work will be easier in high school though. Ms. Ahern, I really want to thank you for being so hard on us. It helped us here, and I'm sure it's going to make Spanish easier in high school. Thanks for the enlightenment and the hard tests. Dr. Lovell, thanks for all of that guitar knowledge. Coach, you've helped me the most with all of your inside info about what I'm going through. All of that girl advice was right. You should write a book. Thanks for letting me shoot baskets when I'm not supposed to. And thanks for always helping me with my game and my personal life. Brady, we've been good friends for 7 years. You were hilarious whenever I was feeling bad, like in the van that one day on Perspectives a month ago. Thanks for all the memories from aftercare. Judd, thanks for your mama jokes. Dustin, I wanted to go to Marcus with you and I'm sorry that can't happen. However, I still don't appreciate all the times you made fun of Jennifer Lopez. Catherine, we've been good friends all year. Whenever I wanted someone to talk to, you were always there for me. Thanks. Chelsea, whenever there was a new song on the radio, you knew it. Whenever other people got into a fight, you chose the right side. And you were always right. I'm sure you'll fit in wherever you go. I'm going to miss you. Jen, thanks for helping me through middle school. You would cheer me up all the time with your smile. And last but certainly not least, Rihanna, I can't begin to tell you how much you've changed my life. You're my good friend even if I did something wrong or had troubles, and you were always right. You brightened every room you walked into. I'll keep in touch. Thanks for all the memories you've given me, and thanks for always being there for me when I'm feeling bad. I love you and I'll never forget you. I'm going to miss my Selwyn family here. They've helped me to become a better person. These people have treated me as part of their own families, and I'll never forget the patience and commitment they've shown to help me make a better person. Some of my fellow students say that this school is too preppy. Preppy, of course, is a shortened slang term for preparatory. According to the Random House Dictionary, preparatory means of or pertaining to training that prepares for more advanced education. I agree. This school is very preppy. Selwyn has prepared me for any kind of education that may come my way. Ever since first grade, I have known that the teachers here are friendly people who care about our education. They have always been kind and patient, yet efficient at their jobs. I would now like to thank all of my teachers. They are Mrs. Schofield, Mrs. Pamplin, Miss Haywood, Mrs. Harris, Mrs. Robertson, Mrs. Estes, Mr. Gentile, Mr. Hanstein, Mrs. Tolliver, Mrs. DeVette, Mrs. Marcus, Coach Sykes, Senora Montez, Mrs. Muse, Dr. Level, Mrs. Waller, Mrs. Tafoya, Senora Coulter, Senora Ahern, and Dr. Gann. If you think that this list is long, just imagine how long it would be if I included the names of everyone who has had a positive influence on me. All of these people have helped to prepare me for not only a higher education, but for life. Also, of course, I must thank my parents. I frequently heard that the average cost of raising a child to age 18 is $100,000. Personally, I think that some researcher has too much time on his or her hands. However, this is a huge amount to provide to another person, so I express my heartfelt gratitude. And now I will say a few words to my classmates and teachers. Mr. Gentile, I don't know where all those jokes came from, but they definitely could use some improvement. Still, you are a great teacher. I enjoyed being in your class and learning about things such as the defeat of the Spanish Armada in 1588. Mr. Hanstein, you are one of the greatest teachers whom I have ever met. You taught not only science, but many life lessons about the real world. Thank you for answering all of my science questions, even though some of them were way ahead of the subject matter. Mrs. Tolliver, I offer my most distinguished gratitude for your excellent contributions of knowledge during your tenure. You have encouraged me to write to my greatest potential and to become confident in my own abilities. You have forsaken much of your unrestricted time to instruct and discipline a boisterous class. I feel that this is a noble contribution to society. Mrs. DeVette, thank you for teaching me Algebra 1 and geometry. I will always remember that congruent parts of congruent triangles are congruent. Senora Ahern, Mrs. Marcus, I have only known you for a year, but I have many unforgettable memories from your class. Thank you for letting us play dictionary on Fridays. Señora Ahern, usted me dio algo precioso. Me enseña cómo hablar español. En 8 años de clases de español fuiste la mejor maestra. No voy a olvidarte. Austin, you have been my friend ever since first grade. I have many memories of the 8 years that we have been at Selwyn. I remember how upset I was that when I discovered that we would be in different grade. I hope you have a good time at Argyle. Parker, you are a smart, funny person who has been a friend to me for a long time. Thank you for everything. Good luck at DHS. Sid, you're amazing, Sid. You always told me that you weren't smart and that you would never do well in class, but I know that you have potential. I'm glad that I have finally met someone who can eat as much as I can. Judd, I look forward to seeing your future life. You're going to be either a political comedian or a U.S. president. Have fun! Naveed and Dustin, you guys are great. I'm never going to forget your awesome sports skills. The past 3 years have gone by so quickly. When I was in lower school, the school year seemed to go on forever, and only the summer seemed to pass by quickly. This year, however, when Christmas break drew near, I felt that only 1 week had passed instead of 36. Now, I am already going to high school. There seems to be no way to slow down time. As I'm standing here at this podium, I think about the other graduates whom I've seen up here recite their speeches and well up with tears. As I might be beginning to do the same, I'll try and get through this quickly. When I started to think about the 8 years that I've spent here, I realized that there really isn't any other way that I would want to spend these years, because they've been so great. When I first came to Selwyn in kindergarten, I made some fast friends like Brady, but I didn't realize that our friendship would draw until now. I was only in Miss Cindy's class for about 1 or 2 months until they moved me up to first grade. The jump to first grade was a big one, and I didn't know anyone there. The rest of the year was hard, and at the time, I didn't think I was going to make it. In first grade, my teacher was Miss Winnett, and I'll never forget her. With her guidance, I learned how to tie my shoes and play computer games. And it may not sound like it was a very good school year, but to a 6-year-old with a 5-minute attention span, it was pretty good. After first grade, the teachers thought that it would be better for me if I went straight to third grade. That year was one of my favorites. My teacher in that class was Miss Haywood, and I'll tell you right now that she was one of the good ones. That year, I would learn that I was destined to be an amazing writer, but I would never realize that without her help. I also remember Miss Haywood's assistant, Miss Honey Harris. She helped me write some of my first stories like The Snail Part 1, 2, and 3, The Pumpkin That Ate the World, and the Bullet Train Through Someone's Esophagus. In the 4th grade, my teacher was Miss Deborah Harris, who was an amazing teacher. I don't remember a whole lot about my 4th grade year, but I remember that I liked it a lot. In 5th grade, my teacher was Miss Robertson. She taught us about so many things that at one time in the school year, I thought that she knew everything that there was to know. To this day, I still get the feeling that she liked me a whole lot, and I want her to know that I liked her too. Anyway, just as I thought I had found my place at Selwyn, I was shipped off to the middle school, and the package I was in got attacked by cannibals known as the middle school faculty. The 3 years that I've spent in the middle school were tough, but I got through unscathed, and I emerged a better person all around. I finally realized that it took some really special people to put up with me and teach me all the things that I know now. Miss DeVette, thank you so much for all the time you spent with me teaching me those endless math equations. I'm sure that I'll find some use for them later on in my life. I would also like to thank you for showing us the correct way to throw a bookmark at someone's head. Mr. Gentile, thank you for sharing some of your vast knowledge with me, and also for your lame jokes. Ugh. I'll never forget you or your jokes. Mr. Hanstein, thank you for telling me about protons and other things I didn't completely understand until you repeated them 5 times. I also enjoyed hearing about your childhood in Hawaii, Dolly the Cloned Lamb, cold fusion, tennis, college, the amount of fat in a single Frito, the chemicals in a dry erase marker, roller coasters, and astronauts. You're one of my favorite teachers, and I'm going to miss you a lot. Miss Marcus, thank you for making me read all those books that you said would teach us life lessons. Up to this point in the school year, I never realized what that meant. Will you ever forgive me for that $7 book that I paid for in quarters? I don't think I'll ever find another teacher as nice or charming as you. Miss Tolliver, wow. Thank you for making me the wonderful writer that I am today. Someday when I get my stories published, I'll have a section about you in the back of them. You'll always be kept in my heart as the rugged hiker that you always wanted to be, and I'll never forget you. Coach, you're not just a PE teacher, you're a friend. Thank you for making me run all those countless suicides that built not only my physical body, but my mental body as well. I'll miss you next year when I'm at DHS. Señora Ahern, gracias para la información que usted me dio en la clase de español. Yo no invento. Este año era maravilloso y yo lo perderé mucho. I also had some great friends while I was here in the middle school. Judd, I'll never forget all those times that we teamed up during lunch to make the unstoppable duo known as the Table Police. David, I don't think you'll ever find someone who can equal your brilliance. Well, not at least until college. I'll be looking for your name in the newspaper and an article explaining how you found a cure for cancer. Sid, you're one of the craziest people I know. Sometimes you had the smallest appetite, while other times you seem like the cause for world hunger. I wish you good luck at Marcus. Brady, during the 8 years that you and I have been here, we've gone together like peanut butter and jelly. Sometimes we'd get into fast fights, but they'd be really small and we'd get over them fast. We've been friends for a long time and I hope that we never lose touch. Dustin, even though you think that you're the hot shot at basketball, deep down inside you know that I'm the master of the crossover and all that other stuff. David, you're a smart guy, and hopefully someday you'll realize that Michael Dickerson is the best player in the NBA, and Sean Bradley isn't even good enough to play third string on the Nuggets. Austin, our friendship really skyrocketed in the 7th grade, and we have been pals ever since. You're one of my favorite people to be with, and I hope that you have fun in high school. 8th grade girls, even though we didn't talk that much, I'm going to miss the noise and crazy ideas that you generated. I'd also like to thank Lucy, Ollie, Shomi, Elisa, and Sarah Watt. They were such great friends to me and everyone they met. When I was feeling down, I could always count on them to cheer me up. Lucy, I expect you to keep your promise to me if by the time we're still 25 and we're still single, that we'll marry each other. For all of these past years, the people who I have to thank the most are my family. My parents have been so supportive of my schoolwork and projects. There's not been one instance where I could not go to them for help, and I will respect them forever. Javin, even though you're just in 2nd grade, you should cherish your days here as though they were your last, because at one point they will be, and you won't even realize it. I've grown so much in the past 8 years, and when I look back in my yearbook, I remember a young boy full of energy. I only thought about present things, like what did my mom prep me for lunch, or what homework was my teacher going to give me. I didn't think of how long I'd be here at Selwyn. I've been coming to the school for so long that it seems like a home to me now. My years here have been great, and I'll never forget the time that I spent at the Selwyn School.
Two plus 2 equals 4. Lucy Maud Montgomery was the author of Anne of Green Gables. The Constitutional Convention was held in 1787. It's these kinds of lessons I've learned at the Selwyn School, and tonight my career as a pre-high school student is over. I've attended Selwyn off and on since kindergarten. In that time I've had many good experiences and, well, some not so good experiences. More than once I've moved to Kansas. More than once I've made mistakes. It's too late to reverse the mistakes that I've made, but not too late to move forward, and that is where I begin tonight. Well, have fun falling asleep in your seats while I say the thank yous to the people who have changed my life. Chelsea, thank you for always giving me hugs when I needed them. I don't know if you actually cared about me or not, but you acted like you did. Dustin, thank you for always being there for me. I will never forget our struggling through Spanish A. We had the same problems in the class, but we finally made it through. I'll see you on the NBA court when you'll be a player, and I'll be watching you from the stands. Allie, thank you for always being quiet and never disrespectful towards a student or teacher. I didn't get to know you very well, but I do know that you were a great addition to our class. Brooke, thank you for always being a model student and showing many good examples of work ethic. You are very smart, and I hope that your intelligence will benefit you in the future. I'm sorry that I tortured you with Enya music. Naveed, thanks for choosing the Memphis Grizzlies in NBA 2K3 so I could discover Michael Dickerson. It was fun always guessing which 7th grade and 8th grade girl you were writing to next. David, whenever I needed your help with computers, you were always there for me. Have fun at the Selwyn Upper School next year. Jen, ever since 5th grade I've liked you. I wish we could have been more than friends, but it's too late. You might not miss me, but I'll miss seeing you. Brady, You have been my bestest friend at Selwyn over the past few years, and I'm sure that we'll see each other in the near future. Unlike other people, we have never fought and have always been there for each other. See you next year. Catherine, you are a pretty princess. I've always enjoyed your comments during class. Austin, since kindergarten and first grade, you and I have been good friends. Although we had our problems in 6th grade, you and I have remained friends. I'll always remember the great person you have become. Parker, you have always been an energetic person, ready to imitate anyone, just like me. I know we will always cherish Michael Dickerson and John Stockton. Thanks for being a part of the best crime-fighting duo ever, known as the Table Police. Sid, you have always had good ideas, like opening the Sid Mart, a place other than the bookstore to buy food. You have always enjoyed food, and maybe in the future you'll be successful in owning your own restaurant. I have always enjoyed your funny comments, and you have always made my day go better. Miss Sally, thank you for giving us tons of playtimes and letting us play with Power Rangers, and being an outstanding teacher, even though you made me cry when you put on the Land Before Time video. Miss Schofield, thank you for telling the class that they started making blue M&Ms when you went to a Rangers game. Miss Harris, thank you for being a great 5th grade teacher. I'm sorry that I never told you that I broke your mother's pencil. I hope you'll forgive me. Miss Robertson, you were a great teacher who really cared about me. I hope you're doing all right now. Dr. Lovell, thank you for teaching me about playing the saxophone and later the guitar. I think you're too talented to be a teacher and that you should be a rock star. Mr. Tagg, thanks for helping me get a 1 at the music competition and helping me audition for the honor band. Miss Marcus, I have no idea how I got through your almost impossible quizzes. From Moby Dick to A Separate Piece, they were always tough to beat. I know we had our ups and downs, but you always made people's days bright. Coach G, thank you for getting us to the soccer playoffs and for teaching us words in Spanish. Coach Sykes, I don't have enough good things to say about you. Just about all the kids, including me, look up to you all the time. You're one of the most down-to-earth people I've ever known. Thank you for getting the basketball team to the championship every year and for helping us win 2 championships in a row. But most importantly, thank you for giving all the kids, no matter their skill level, a chance to play sports. I wish you could be my coach for the rest of my life. And now I'd like to thank the 4 middle school teachers I like to call the Fantastic Four. Miss DeVette, we had our share of disagreements, especially in the 6th grade, but I know you'll miss me because I'll miss you. Your yelling at me has made me stronger as a student and a person. Thank you for letting me interrupt your class more than once to check out a calculator. Mr. Hanstein, you have always motivated the class, a lot, by saying things like, "Come on guys, this is serious stuff." You have also taught us a lot about the real world. It wasn't until the beginning of the semester that I finally figured out how to pass your tests. I hope you will continue to have as much success as you have already had with your teaching career. Miss Talia Farrell, you have always been there for me. You have always kept my vocabulary going with Wordly-Wise. Thanks for helping me get stories like Desmond Power of Nerds and the Bill and Monica Cow story completed. I would always ask you if I was putting out an effort 5, but really it was you who was putting out an effort 5 each day in class. Mr. Gentile, you're the coolest, smartest, funniest, awesomest, strongest, fastest, best person of all time. You have been like a father to me the last 3 years. Also, you have always been polite to me by shaking my hand after class. From asking you for peanuts to discussing jobs where you don't have to do math, there's always a fun thing to do with you. I'll miss you the most. Thank you to all the people who have given me food and money at break. Thank you to my parents for paying my tuition and always supporting me through good and bad. While I was at a middle school in Kansas, one of the teachers told me that before I went to high school, someone would offer me drugs. I'm proud to say that never happened. There are many people who have changed my life over the last 8 years, and I'm sorry that I wasn't able to include everyone. But don't forget, I love you, JoJo. Tonight ends my career as a Selwyn student, but it opens up a new chapter in my life, a chapter that will soon begin. Allie may be a 6th grader trapped in an 8th grader's body, but I'm an 8th grader in an 8th grader's body. But after tonight, that will all change.
In 1995, a small kid walks through the doors of a timeless haven for kids with special abilities. This place, as magical as it is, goes under the name of Selwyn School. On my first day here, I couldn't help but notice that the kids in my class looked like they were playing with toys on rugs. I thought, well, I want to play too. But one of the kids is like, "Hey, this isn't a toy." I'm like, "Well, what is it?" She said, "Shh, I'm learning." That's when I figured it out. This wasn't any school. This was a school where kids could tackle their personal challenges in academics at every single chance they got. This was a school for the kids who felt unchallenged in other schools. This was Selwyn School. Now I'd like to thank the people who helped me get where I am today. Mr. Gentile, you are absolutely hilarious. From your terrible jokes, to your double takes, to your funny faces, to times where you would say something like, "See me after class." Whenever I wasn't listening to you, you would always make eye contact with me, and I'd think, "Oh great, he's going to call on me again. I forgot what he's talking about." And then he'd say, "Naveed, answer the question." You were always full of ideas, and you would always do the unexpected. You were a great teacher. Mr. Hanstein, thank you for being a very caring and extremely funny science teacher. I will miss you a lot. Ms. Tolliver, you were a kind and happy teacher who was always full of fun ideas to do. I had fun writing all those essays, even though you had more fun grading them. I learned a lot about all those English terms, and about things such as topic sentences, which I probably forgot in this speech. You were really happy apart from when you were staring me down for my missing assignments. Señora Ahern, yo estoy en la luna. Yo se habla español poco a poco. Yo estudio 3 horas por la examen. La examen tiene un F. Tú es muy inteligente. Muchas gracias, señora. Coach, thanks for teaching me how to run and play baseball, and for putting up with me in basketball. Judd, I will always remember you as a thoughtful and extremely funny guy who was always sure to pay his debts even though you went outside the deadline a bit. You were always on the ball, waiting for a good comeback to one of Mr. Gentile's jokes. Brady, I remember seeing you on the playground. You were in Miss Mickey's class, I think. We met each other in first grade, but after that we never really saw each other because we were in different classes all the time up to 6th grade. We had some disagreements then, and I had a certain temper problem at that time. But towards the end of 7th grade, we eventually became friends again. You were always smart and knew what to say at exactly the right moment. You were usually nice to me, and I think you will make it past high school. Parker, back in 1st grade, you were always hyper and crazy, and you were always getting out of doing your homework. Nowadays, you've mellowed out, and you're not so hyper, and you're still a good friend to be with. David, we have been good friends since 1st grade. I know that you are smart enough to be anything you want. Have fun in 9th grade here, and so on. I hope our friendship will continue. Sid, Flaming Hot Cheetos and Sonic. You need to start your own food chain in the future sometime. I'll always remember the way you seem to inhale any food that comes your way, and how you're always stuck on a video game, and you always needed my help. I'll miss you a lot. Well, 8 years is pretty long. It's time to get out of here and explore the real world now. I'll always remember this wonderful place and the people I met here. See ya.
It's my turn now, huh? Perhaps the most valuable result of all education is the ability to make yourself do the thing you have to do when it ought to be done, whether you like it or not. It is the first lesson that ought to be learned, and however early one's training begins, is probably the last lesson that one learns thoroughly. Thomas H. Huxley, an English biologist and supporter of Charles Darwin, said that. And after my 11 years at Selwyn, I have found this to be very true, and not just about classes. It's true in perspective strips, cleanup crew, and violin recitals. It's true at home, at volleyball practice, and in basketball games. Education is not just memorizing facts to repeat them on your history test. It's learning to make yourself do things the right way. Here at Selwyn, everybody helps you. Friends, teachers, other students, they all help you learn, and they learn with you. The people here really care about what you do and where you're going in life. They care about what kind of person you become. And they try to teach you to be yourself, the best person you can be. I'd like to thank the following people for helping me learn how to be who I am. Ms. Tolliver, thank you for teaching me all the rules in the English language, even if I already knew them. Remember that even if everyone in the 6th grade class makes the same mistake, it's still wrong. Mr. Gentile, this is funny, and you will laugh. Your jokes, they aren't that great, but if you want to keep telling them, whatever makes you feel better. Mr. Hamstein, in addition to learning about all things scientific in your class, I now know more than I ever wanted to about growing up in Hawaii. Mrs. DeVette, thank you for teaching math, and I still can't think of any job that requires you to graph circles on a coordinate plane. Miss Marcus, literature was fun this year, and don't change your tests. They're fine as they are. Coach, every year people go on and on about you. I don't know if I can say anything that hasn't already been said. I love playing volleyball and basketball with you. I had a lot of fun. You're a great coach, and I'll miss you next year. Coach Patrice and Coach Jennifer, I had a lot of fun with you too. You're great coaches. And thank you to Dr. Tanner and Dr. Soros for letting me in your class as a non-degree seeking special student, even though I'm not exactly sure what that means. Alyssa, thanks for teaching me how to draw people. You're a great friend, and I hope we stay friends at Ryan. Have fun as a goth or punk, whichever you decide to be. Jen, remember when we were the only 3rd grade girls in Miss Haywood's class, and we drew that book of horses? I won't forget. I know you'll have many friends at Argyle, but try to remember the rest of us. Chelsea, thank you for teaching me how to hold my head high, even while breaking all the rules. I respect you, even though I will beat you at volleyball next year. Catherine, we were never really that close, but I always thought of you as a friend. I'll miss you next year. Have fun at DHS. As for the rest of you, Brady, never give up no matter what. Jed, I will not forgive you for that annoying Enya song. Sid and Austin, have fun next year. David, I had fun in Algebra 1 and Geometry with you. Naveed and Dustin, thanks for being nice, at least most of the time, especially when I wasn't feeling that great. Parker, if you hug me, I will hurt you. I will miss all of you so much next year, and I suspect I won't know how much until summer is over and high school begins. To everyone who I didn't name in my speech, I'll miss you too. I don't know what else to say, so goodbye everybody. Remember me.
It's over. My years of summer are coming to an end tonight. Well, all I can say is that I passed, I'm graduating, I did it. The friends that I have made while attending Selwyn are by far the greatest benefit of school. Chelsea, you and I were never very close, but since the beginning of 8th grade, I feel like you and I have become closer every day. We have plenty in common and a lot to talk about. I wish you were still going to Ryan so we could hang out. Dustin, you and I are pretty good friends over the years. We talked about music, movies, and other things. I remember how you used to make me laugh when I was upset or just needed a good joke. I think you will go far in the future. Brooke, you and I are good friends, at times, and at others you thought I was immature and annoying. I remember I was jealous of your study skills, and I still am. You were always willing to help me in my time of need, or right before class. Thank you for everything. Naveed, you're a great friend. You're one of those people who didn't judge anybody. You were one of those people who couldn't have enough friends. You taught me not to be so judgmental. You also brought out a crazy side of me that over the years I have grown to like. I remember when you came into the 2nd grade and I was a 1st grader. Ryan and I tried to be friends with you, but all you did was smile and hide behind your mom. Every now and then you and I would get into a fight, but then the next day we were friends again. Funny how that works, huh? I think you and I are better friends now than ever. You've been one of my best friends and I'll never forget you. Good luck after today. David, I honestly think you are the first omniscient human. Brady, a human cannot be omniscient, Miss Tolliver once said. Well, Miss Tolliver, for the first time, I think you're wrong. David was a great friend. He helped me with my homework and helped me study. He tried to help me get good grades, and I commend him for trying. David is a smart, nice, caring person that I will most likely grow up and work for. Honestly, this won't bother me as long as we're still friends. Jen, you are probably the most fun person to be with in the 8th grade. You're a nice girl with a wild side that you were never afraid to show. We fought a lot in our younger days, in our younger years, and we still disagree with each other now and then. But today, I really do like you. Catherine, you are awesome. You are a person that never has a frown on her face. You are always happy and willing to tell a story. You accept everyone into everything that you do and never exclude anyone. You are a nice person who will go far in the future. Austin, when we were young, you and I were good friends. That kind of fluctuated since then. Our friendship was like an emotional roller coaster. Every day in 6th grade, you and I would argue. In 7th grade, you and I became closer, but we still had our differences. In 8th grade, we finally became friends again, and I'm glad that we did. Parker, you and I are two completely different people that surprisingly get along. We have two completely different outlooks on life. You could do your schoolwork and have friends at the same time. I didn't do my schoolwork and have plenty of friends. Today we are great friends and I hope that will never change. Sid, you're one of my best friends. I can't remember any time we fought or were angry with each other. You are a great person regardless of what people say of your eating habits or homework issues. Don't ever change. Judd, you're my all-time best friend in the world. Our friendship will never end seeing how we're going to attend the same high school. I hope that we always stay friends even after high school. Whenever I was mad at you, you wouldn't retaliate. You would just tell a joke and make it all better. You always made me laugh when I was upset. You would make me forget about my problems. I know I'm not the easiest person to get along with, but you most definitely are. I'll see you next year. Lucy, you're the only person that I can say I love besides my parents. If I was upset, you would comfort me for as long as I needed it. You put up with my childish antics that most people would get a headache from. I love you so much, girl. I can't wait to see you again. Coach Sykes, you're the best darn Secret Santa in the world. Thanks for letting me play a full hour and 30 minutes in basketball. Sorry I kicked and hit you when I was younger. Dr. Lovell, thanks for teaching me how to play like Jimi Hendrix. Mrs. DeVette, when I was in your class, you kept me in line. I tried my best in your class, at times. You're a great teacher. Mr. Gentile, don't be Euphrates of graduation. In my opinion, you are an extremely cool teacher. You always made your classes fun, somehow. I remember when I wasn't paying attention, you would call me. And when I was paying attention, you wouldn't call me. You do tell corny jokes, but that's what makes you neat. You don't just teach, you tell jokes. I wish you were going to be my history teacher next year. You'll be the first teacher I see when I visit Selwyn again. Mr. Hanstein, you're always the one that really kept me in line. You talked to us about the real life, for about the entire class. You were a pretty cool teacher, willing to give the most detailed explanations of any question. Mrs. Tolliver, you taught me everything that I ever needed and wanted to know about English. Not only were you a good teacher, but a great friend as well. You never let me give up my attitude and forced me to go on, and that is going to get me very far in life. Mrs. Marcus, even though I've only had you for 1 year, the time that I spent with you was fun. You taught us probably everything that we're going to need to know about high school. Thank you. To my parents, I want to say thanks for paying my tuition and for making me feel smarter than you when I felt dumb. If I was stressed out about school, you two are always there for me. I love you. Tonight I leave Selwyn. I say goodbye to all of my classmates and friends. I wish luck to all of you in the future.
Thank you.
mighty go. Come on.
That would mean all the love you can give every day of your life, for as long as you live.
One last time.
Climb every mountain, ford every stream, follow every rainbow till you find your dream. Till you find your dream. Till you find your dream.
One of the things that's always been a tradition here at Selwyn School is the students take a little secret vote and decide which teacher they would like to ask to help present them their certificates. This year, Mr. Gentile, we would ask if you would come forth and help. The other tradition that we have here at Selwyn is that we ask the parent of the student that's been here the longest, the most senior student at Selwyn. This year we have two, and I'd like to ask Chris Elliott and I'd like to ask Wendy Simmons. This is Brady's mom and Brooke's mom. So at this time, we will be presenting your 8th grade diplomas. Ms. Oliver will be reading the names for us.
All right, when I call your name, please come and receive your diploma. And the Unicorn Club also has some commemorative pins for you all this year. Alyssa Cox. Sid Teledevara. Chelsea Bryant. Dustin Chacon. Catherine Ralph. Jen Hills. Naveed Hedayati. David Heller. Parker Stalls. Judd Travis. Austin Reed. Brooke Elliott. And Brady Lemons. Congratulations.
Well, it's been a good group, and I certainly wish for them the very best of good wishes as they continue their educational career. Some are going to remain here and help us get our new high school started. Some are going to other high schools where I know the principals, and they're lucky to get them. To all of you, parents, friends who come tonight, thank you for the influence you've had on their lives and will continue to have. And you know that you're always welcome at all of our endeavors here at Selwyn School. Thank you, and again, graduating class, thank you and good luck.